Dear friends, welcome to another episode of Geopolitical News. In this video, we will discuss the referendum that took place this Sunday in Venezuela and why this referendum could plunge South America into a war of expansion and conquest. This Sunday, December 3rd, a referendum is being held in Venezuela with the aim of providing Nicolas Maduro with strong popular support for a long-standing Venezuelan desire to annex the Essequibo, a region that corresponds to about 74% of Guyana. But why could this referendum effectively lead to war in South America? The referendum consists of 5 questions, and right from the first, Nicolas Maduro asks whether Venezuelans want to reject those established in the 1899 agreement. This agreement was signed at a time when Guyana was still a British colony, with a mixed tribunal created in Paris in 1898 determining that the Essequibo region was an integral part of Guyana's territory, thus going against Venezuela's wishes. In the second question, Maduro asks whether Venezuelans want to rely on the 1966 Geneva Agreement as the sole legal instrument to resolve the issue. This agreement stipulates the creation of a commission to discuss borders, but Guyana, fearing the weight of Venezuelan diplomatic pressure, requested an amendment to include the UN General Assembly, the UN Security Council, and the International Court of Justice as additional elements to mediate the resolution of the issue. However, Venezuela does not accept this. The third question is very serious, with Maduro asking whether Venezuelans want to turn their backs on the International Court of Justice as an intermediary entity. This is serious because the International Court is the only court in the world capable of mediating border issues. Maduro, by turning his back on this court, is essentially wanting to act outside of international law. In the fourth question, Maduro asks whether Venezuelans want Guyana to stop exploring the oil and gas found off its coast. It was precisely the discovery of large reserves of oil and gas off the Essequibo coast that motivated Maduro to forcefully claim possession of that region. But the fifth question is the most serious, with Maduro asking whether Venezuelans accept the creation of the Venezuelan state of Guyana Essequibo and whether they accept that all people living in that region receive Venezuelan citizenship. Basically, with this question, Maduro wants to annex 74% of Guyana and, consequently, transform tens of thousands of Guyanese citizens into Venezuelan citizens without even consulting those people. This is the question that could effectively plunge South America into war, as it is essentially the forced annexation of a territory and, as serious as that, the forced assimilation of a people by another nation. Essentially, Venezuelans are deciding whether Guyanese living in the Essequibo will be transformed overnight into Venezuelans without being consulted beforehand. Guyanese are therefore subject to 2 violations of international law: first, the forced annexation of a territory, and second, the assimilation of an entire population without consulting them beforehand, thus violating the right to self-determination of peoples. By committing 2 serious violations of international law, laws that it is important to remember are included in the founding charter of the United Nations, Nicolas Maduro will provide Guyana with the basis and legal justification to seek military aid from anyone willing to offer it. From this point, 2 things can happen: no one offers military support to Guyana, and even without UN recognition, Maduro will take control of the Essequibo, or some country, such as the United States, offers the requested support to Guyana, thus initiating a war that could be disastrous for everyone. I mentioned the United States because a large part of the gas and oil reserves discovered off the Essequibo coast are being explored by American companies, and therefore, the United States, fearing the loss of those billion-dollar concessions, may be motivated to offer the military support that Guyana needs. A war in South America, especially one of expansion and conquest similar to the one being fought by Russia against Ukraine, is a terrible prospect that will only contribute to further increasing the humanitarian crisis in the northern part of the South American continent. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel to help us. Until next time.